During August and September of 2020, the US Air Force sent a number of aircraft over to the UK on detachment. RAF Lakenheath welcomed 16 F-16s from Aviano Air Force Base in Italy. 6 US Marine F35Bs visited RAF Marham, and Fairford hosted 6 B52 strategic bombers. On this visit, the first aircraft to get airborne was U-337, which is more permanently stationed at Fairford. This time, 6 B52s from the 23rd Bomb Squadron flew in from Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota and remained stationed at Fairford for almost 2 months. Then, 3 B52s taxied down towards me at the threshold for departure, 005, 007 and finally 337. These iconic aircraft thundered down the runway, emitting their trademark black smoke, taking off towards the west before climbing out over Oxfordshire, crossing the Midlands and leaving the UK airspace over the North Sea, making their way towards Eastern Europe. I knew they'd be gone for maybe 6 or 7 hours, so I relocated myself around the southern side of the airfield perimeter to photograph the remaining 3 aircraft on the apron. The airborne bombers eventually reappeared on the radar south of Berlin, heading west back towards the UK. I was interested to see that their cruising altitude was only 28,000 feet, somewhat lower than an airliner's cruising altitude. Tracking them on radar back to Fairford, I found a spot along the country lane on the western side of the runway. During the day the wind had changed, and due to this, the aircraft would be landing towards the east. I had to be careful where I positioned myself. I avoided the crowds and walked south of the approach path so as to ensure I wouldn't be shooting the jets into the sun, resulting in silhouettes. My position gave me a restricted view, but I knew the low-setting sun would beautifully sidelight the jets as they crossed my field of view. Surprisingly, after an 8-hour mission, the first jet did a go-round and entered into a couple of circuits, leaving a trail of exhaust as the engines wound up to go around power. Although I've seen B-52s flying before, I hadn't seen one flying for a number of years, and it was a real treat to see these old aircraft still in action. It's hard to believe that they are 60 or so years old, and if re-engineering them really is on the cards, they could be 100 years old before they are retired. All 3 B-52s safely back on the ground at their temporary UK home, and bringing up the rear the U-2S. Lovely to be seeing another such iconic aircraft sharing the skies with the bombers above Fairford.